You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/day to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/day for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Welcome to the Dogs Podcast with your hosts, Blake Reneker, Justin Charles, and Josh All.
What's up, Browns fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Dogs Podcast presented by Manly Bands. Josh All, your host today. Just want to go over whatever the hell just happened at Browns Eagles first joint practice this week. Man, can this team not just do anything normal? Can we not just have a normal training camp session, joint practice with another team and not be the center point of all kinds of, social media drama? And we'll get into it. We will get into it. And oh boy, a lot of this team. I'll tell you guys what, this team. Oh, fantasy football. Guys, before we dive into this stuff real quick, signups for our fantasy football leagues in the Dog Pack are still going on, but they will be cut off next Friday. So make sure you get in now if you want a spot in one of our fantasy leagues. I'm telling you guys, it's a ton of fun. You won't regret playing, and it's just $5 a month to join or sign up for the Dog Pack on Patreon. You donate a cup of coffee a month to us. You don't even know it's gone, but it helps us out a ton as an independent podcast. We really appreciate everybody in the Dog Pack, all of our supporters. You guys rock. You guys are the best. So join our fantasy football leagues. Get in now. As soon as you sign up, I've been monitoring this stuff very closely. So within probably usually an hour or so, you're going to get an invite to your fantasy league. And if you don't get it that quick, you'll get it within at least a day. We are up and rolling with most of our leagues, trying to finalize everything right now. So get in now, jointhedogs.com. Okay, this is going to be a super long episode. I really just want to get in here and give you guys a quick recap of a couple things that has been going on earlier this week. And then obviously the joint practice session today in Philly with the Eagles. Me, Justin, and Kenny Mack are going to be doing our Eagles game preview tomorrow evening. It'll be out on all the platforms tomorrow night sometime, and we'll break all the stuff down from really today and then of course tomorrow in the joint practice session. We should know by then who the starting quarterback's going to be. I think it's probably going to be Dylan Gabriel unless his hamstring holds him up even more, and yeah, we'll go from there. So we'll see you guys tomorrow night on that episode. But for today, we might as well just kick it off with the big thing. If you were on social media today, especially X, whoo, boy, the toxicity of X. It is crazy. Whatever you guys do, don't read the comments if you're posting. That's kind of my rule of thumb. That's what gets me through the days. I just don't read the comments. I just don't read any of the BS that comes in. I just say what I want to say and I move on to the next thing and say that too. But coming out of Philly, from both Browns and Philly, the Eagles beat reporters, so from both sides, they're going through 7-on-7s, and I think it was like the first 7-on-7 set. It was like, okay, so Joe Flacco came out and took the first series or the first set of reps or whatever, and then it was Kenny Pickett, and then it was Dylan Gabriel or however it went. And it was Tyler Huntley. It was like, Tyler Huntley? What? I mean, even like guys like Zach Jackson from The Athletic are on there going, yep, Tyler Huntley's taking 7-on-7 reps now. Can't make this stuff up. So it's just a crap storm across X. What is going on with Shedeur Sanders? Why? He took the most reps of any quarterback in camp on Monday in Berea. And then they travel yesterday to Philly. They're out there today for the joint practice. And I mean, the videos came out early. Shedeur Sanders obviously out on the field early like he always is, getting warmed up, getting loosened up. And then taking no team reps. And it just goes and goes and goes the entire session. Everybody's like, still no reps for Shedeur. Still no team reps. Still haven't seen Shedeur Sanders. And the internet freaked out. We freaked out. Everybody freaked out. And I don't blame anybody for freaking out. So we'll kind of dive into that a little bit. Let's just fast forward. Obviously, we know now Shedeur Sanders reported discomfort in his side during throwing warm-ups or something earlier in the practice. It was very similar to the whole arm soreness thing that, that one day, a week or so ago, whenever it was, that he got held out of all the team drills, and it didn't come out until after practice that he had reported arm soreness, and they held him out of practice as a precaution. Kind of the same thing today. He reported some soreness or whatever, some discomfort in his side, and they ruled it an oblique injury. We don't really have any details other than that. And he didn't practice today. He was held out of all the team drills and everything. And then Mary Kay Cavett came out and said after practice, yep, it's confirmed it was an oblique injury and probably means he's not playing on Saturday. Well, that escalated quickly. So we went from Shedeur Sanders on Friday, starting the preseason game in Carolina, looking fantastic. I don't really care what, the naysayers want to say. He looked great for his first time ever facing a full NFL defense in NFL game matching, especially the fact that he's been given limited reps to prepare. But anyway, so we're coming off that high and we're getting excited to say, okay, let's see him again here on Saturday. Let's see if he goes out there again and does it. And now it's like, now he might not play. So, yeah, that's kind of where we are with our quarterback situation. It's wild. It is wild that we have this 4-way quarterback competition. And it's a 40-year-old, like 19-year veteran, and it's a 26, 27-year-old, fourth-year guy, and 2 rookies. So 3 relatively young players and a very old player. And the very old player is the only one who hasn't been injured yet in training camp. Everybody else is hurt. Kenny Pickett hurt his hamstring. I'm telling you, I don't think Kenny Pickett, it doesn't sound like he's anywhere close to being able to participate or really compete. Like today, took 7-on-7 drills, just like he did on Monday, 7-on-7s, but he cannot participate in the 11-on-11s. They're holding him out of those. He's not healthy enough to do that, to face a pass rush and have linemen in front of him and all that stuff. He's not going to play on Saturday. That's 2 preseason. And the thing, Kenny Pickett is not some, wily veteran that, his roster position is locked in and he doesn't really need to prove anything in the preseason. He just kind of needs to get the flow of things. He needs the reps. He needs the practice. He needs to go out there and show that he can be a potential option for this team. I mean, they went out and traded a 5th-round pick for him, first thing this offseason, and we still have not seen him do anything in any sort of meaningful football scenario for the Cleveland Browns. The last time we've ever seen him really participate in a game, he was throwing the ball into the turf and falling on top of it for the Eagles. And before that, it was sucking with the Steelers. So there's really, I don't see any way Kenny Pickett crawls his way out of the hole that he is in now in this quarterback competition. Dillon Gabriel missed the last, week and a half with his hamstring tightness or whatever. He didn't participate in some of the 11s last week, I think, in Carolina, and then obviously didn't play in the game on Friday. And yet he's still ahead of, this is what drives me nuts, he's still ahead of Shedeur on the whatever unofficial proposed depth chart that the Browns keep putting out each week. And obviously he's still in the running for a starting spot, it seems, because again, today took reps with the first team. It wasn't a ton based on everything I was reading from the reporters at camp, but Dillon Gabriel still took first team reps today in the joint practice. So Joe Flacco took the majority of the first team reps. Obviously, Kenny Pickett took first team reps whenever it was 7-on-7, but Dillon Gabriel took some first team reps in the 11s because Kenny Pickett wasn't there. So it is wild. And, Shedeur missing this joint practice today, and potentially if he misses tomorrow and he misses the game on Saturday, that's going to be kind of a big deal because, if y'all been following, what this team has been doing since rookie minicamp. It has been Dillon Gabriel significantly farther ahead than Shedeur Sanders in the Browns' eyes. And, the injury did not, deter or hurt hurt Dillon Gabriel's standing in any way, but it sure as hell will hurt Shedeur's. So this sucks. This sucks because if you're like me, if you're like us, I was texting Blake this morning. He's like, what the hell are we doing? Like, what is going on with this team? That was a lot of hope that got injected into the veins of Browns fans on Friday night, watching Shedeur go out there. And, for everybody, it was just a preseason. We're not saying he went out there and balled out and lit it up and diced them apart and all that kind of stuff. He's a rookie quarterback who was touted as a first-round talent, but then all of a sudden got all these narratives that, he can't play in the NFL, the game won't translate, this, that, and the other. And then he went out in his first NFL game action and looked not just competent, but productive. Could move the ball down the field. I was watching the game again the other day, just going back through the offensive plays and seeing how he handled certain scenarios. And, there were plays that we just missed by a fingertip. Or, early in the game, he overshoots Deontay Johnson, I think, on a slant route just because I think he was a little amped up. He had Dylan Sampson wide open on a broken scramble play where he came out of the pocket and tried to float the ball up over a linebacker and just put a little too much air on it and also floated it over Sampson's head. But if he hits him, that was a good 15-yard or more gain on that play alone. And then the touchdown plays were vintage Shedeur Sanders from the college film that I watched, a ton of this preseason. And it was very hopeful. So we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening. We'll talk about it tomorrow night because if Shedeur sits out tomorrow in the joint practice, then he's, I would say, 99% not going to play Saturday. And if Dillon Gabriel practices tomorrow and there's no more holdups with his hamstring injury, it doesn't aggravate anything, Dillon Gabriel is going to get the start, and he's going to get the 2.5 quarters against the Eagles like Shedeur got against the Panthers, which I don't hate. Obviously, I want Gabriel to be healthy for this game. I want to see him. We need to know. We need to see it on the field. The Browns clearly have this guy prioritized over Shedeur. Well, we've seen Shedeur. We liked what we saw with Shedeur. Now we need to see Dillon Gabriel on the field to justify what the Browns are doing in practice this entire time. Show it to us. I don't take anything at face value. I said this on a short reel TikTok video I put out earlier. I don't take anything at face value from this regime or from any regime for that matter. I mean, coaches have no obligation whatsoever to be honest with the media. And Kevin Stefanski is never direct with the media, ever. It is, you ask him a question and he will point you that way, this way, this way, this way, and do a complete roundabout. And then next question. There's no directness. They're not going to tell you. They're not obligated to tell you anything, really, and to be so straightforward. So I don't take anything at face value. I just if you guys are telling me, and it's not even necessarily the words, it's the actions of the team. If you're telling me with your actions that Dillon Gabriel is better than Shedeur Sanders and that you think he's better, you like him better, he's more impressive to you, he's done more, whatever you're telling me with your actions, now you got to show it to me on the field. And Saturday will be that day, hopefully, as long as there's no hamstring injury for him, to see that play out. But, all this could be for nothing, really, if, it comes out tomorrow that the oblique thing wasn't a big deal and Shedeur's back on the field and he participates tomorrow. I mean, he'll still be the fourth quarterback to take reps and all that kind of stuff. But, at this rate, it's kind of wild. But at this rate, freaking Tyler Huntley might actually be on the active roster come September. I mean, if Joe Flacco is the only healthy guy and you've got hamstring injuries, I mean, Kenny, I don't mean what the hell we're going to do with Kenny Pickett. I don't want him on the team. I know he's a Cleveland Brown right now, but he's doing nothing for me. He's doing nothing. I mean, obviously, Gabriel, Shedeur, they're your rookies. They're the guys that you invested draft capital in that you need to see if they can develop into anything. But if they're on the shelf for any amount of time, who's the next quarterback? Maybe Tyler Huntley actually is going to be on this roster. I mean, for whatever the big takeaway here is, I don't know what the hell's going on in Berea, but we can't keep people healthy. And it has been a problem for years. It's not like just wow, these last couple seasons have been real rough with the injuries. It's every single year we deal with this type of stuff. And I look around the league and I don't see all these other NFL teams dealing with the cycle, the crazy rotating door of injuries that we are. all the time, but man alive, is it ever frustrating. So we will see how this shakes out tomorrow. But again, we'll talk about that tomorrow night on our Eagles preview show.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install a Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/day to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/day for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
This episode is sponsored by Manly Bands. Browns fans, it is time to upgrade your ring game. Head over to manlybands.com/dogs and check out everything Manly Bands has to offer. Some of the coolest bands materials that you're going to find. I love going through and looking at everything in their Jack Daniel's whiskey barrel collection. I mean, you can get a wedding ring made from a Jack Daniel's whiskey barrel. That's awesome. They've got the Lord of the Rings collection. They've got DC Comics, and they've also got the other materials too. Gold, white gold, that kind of stuff. They've got meteorite. They've got dinosaur bone. They've got all kinds of stuff. And they have a ton of other gifts as well. They've got barware. They've got chains. They've got wristwatch. They've got all kinds of stuff. Anything you need if you're looking for manly rings and manly things, head to manlybands.com/dogs and make sure to use promo code CAMP25, CAMP25, to get an extra $25 off your order. That's manlybands.com/dogs, promo code CAMP25. This episode is sponsored by Southern New Hampshire University. Browns fans, do you ever feel stuck in your current job? Like if you just had a different degree or some more education in a certain area, you could do something you really want to do. Well, Southern New Hampshire University has the answers for you. Head over to snhu.edu/bark to learn how you can get started on your new career today. SNHU is one of the largest online accredited universities in the United States, and it's radically affordable. Their online tuition rates are some of the lowest in the nation. So seriously, what are you waiting for? Head over to snhu.edu/bark to learn how you can get started on your degree for your new career, 100% online and 100% on your time. snhu.edu/bark. All right, so just looking over the rest of the notes here, the rest of the posts and stuff from the reporters I'm like over my words here. At this joint session here today, ESPN Cleveland puts out their QB tracker after every practice now, and hey, love it or hate it, the stats are the stats. And at the end of the day, I've said this before about these QB stat trackers. It's about what you take away from it. That's important because they're just putting out numbers. I don't fault them. I mean, everyone wants to say, oh, there needs to be more context and stuff. And I was saying that too in the beginning. But as time has gone on, it's been like, okay, well, if you understand that there's more context to be had from these trackers, then you're fine. If you're taking it as, the holy word, well, then you're missing the point. But since I'm not doing that, I don't mind these trackers anymore. What the tracker told me today, you kind of look through, Joe Flacco, 6 of 13, Kenny Pickett, 5 of 6, Dylan Gabriel, 6 of 19, Tyler Huntley, 3 for 4. The important thing here, though, is because I understand the context just from following along during practice, Kenny Pickett, the 5 for 6, that was during 7-on-7s. There's no offensive, defensive line. Those drills are really set up for the quarterbacks and receivers to have success. And we've seen Kenny Pickett be a preseason hero before. He definitely has done this in the past, and then regular season rolls around and he's just Kenny Pickett. Tyler Huntley, again, 3 of 4. I think those were all in 7-on-7s. He might have taken, and I'm serious about this, he might have taken one 11-on-11 rep, if I'm not mistaken, but I think at least 3, if not all 4 of those reps were 7-on-7s. Joe Flacco's the starting quarterback until I hear otherwise, till Kevin actually comes out and names one. I'm just assuming Joe Flacco is the week 1 starter because, you're not starting Dylan Gabriel week 1. I mean, I take that back. The Browns, I can't put anything past them. They might. I don't know. I don't know what this team is trying to do. I know what it feels like they're trying to do, and it feels like they're trying to shove Dylan Gabriel down our throats, trying to force him into the starter spot, trying to make him into a thing. We've seen them do this before. We have seen it. We've heard from camp, kind of really all going all the way back to rookie minicamp, Zach Jackson being the main guy, like kind of leading the drum beat that, hey, Dylan Gabriel does not look like an NFL quarterback. Shedeur Sanders looks way better than him, like from the beginning. And it just reminds me, and Blake's talked about this, how last year all the reports out of camp were, hey, this offense looks kind of bad. Deshaun Watson doesn't really look all that good. But then the team would come out and through their propaganda avenues tell you, no, we look good. Deshaun Watson's doing great. The Brown social media showing highlight clips of him throwing deep passes and making great plays and throws on the run and all that kind of stuff. And then as the season actually happened in front of our eyes on the field, okay, the reports that Deshaun Watson sucks and this offense is abysmal, those were all correct. Well, let's see how it plays out this year. But right now, that's the reports that we have. Dylan Gabriel today, 6 of 19. Not great. Joe Flacco, 6 of 13. He's going against the Eagles' first string. And by all accounts, Tony Grossi and everybody who was at camp, the offense struggled big time today. The offense was in a lot of trouble against the Eagles' defense, which the Eagles' defense was like the best. You saw what they did to Mahomes and the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, and they didn't lose anything. Coming into this season, they added pieces to this defense. They're going to be freaking tough to go against. So this was a good day. These are good joint practices to have for our offense because we can go out there and we're going up against the best of the best. It's kind of like the DeJuan Jones going against Myles Garrett in training camp. You're not going to see anybody better than Myles Garrett the rest of the season, so might as well train against him, and everything after that's going to be much easier. These are good practices for the Browns, though I don't expect the offense to excel or do great against the Eagles defense. But on the flip side, the really cool thing is all the reports were that the Browns defense was dominating the Eagles first team offense. That is super encouraging because, again, they might not be the best offense in the NFL, but they're still a really damn good one. And Jalen Hurts is a Super Bowl MVP winning quarterback and one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league and all this stuff. And they've got great wide receivers and Saquon Barkley. And by all accounts, we were dominating them. There were multiple posts where it was Jalen Hurts sacked by Myles Garrett, sacked by Mason Graham, sacked by Carson Schlesinger. I saw one of those. There were a couple, there was a bunch of plays where it was Jalen Hurts sacked. I think he threw like 3 interceptions today against our first team. And I think Cam Mitchell, the guy kind of rotating into the slot cornerback role after Greg Newsome and Martin Emerson are out with injuries right now. Cam Mitchell, I believe, had one of those. And again, comments, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was Mitchell that had one of those interceptions, and it just seemed like they struggled a lot against our defense. So by all accounts, both first-team offenses in the first joint practice today struggling against both first-team defenses today. And as a Browns fan, I don't really care about the Eagles side of things because whatever, I'm not rooting for them. They're not my team. As a Browns fan, this is, for the offense, I expect them to struggle against the Eagles. For the defense, I'm very encouraged to hear that they did so well against this offense. That is great news, and that's kind of how I anticipate the year to go. I think if we play, an opposing defense that's pretty good, our offense is going to struggle because we're not very good. We don't have a whole lot of great players on our offense. Our offensive line is not what it used to be, and we don't have skill players and all that kind of stuff. Defensively, though, I think our defense can help us be in more games than maybe a lot of people are anticipating. This could be a little bit reminiscent of the 2023 season when we won way more games than we had any business winning, but it was because our defense was just so dominant against opposing offenses, especially at home. So we'll get to see how that plays out week 1 against the Bengals because that's going to be a high-flying, high-powered offense, but it's going to be on our field in our stadium week 1. Now, the Bengals are doing things different, obviously, this year because they don't usually play starters in the preseason. They did play their starters, at least in the first preseason game, and I think they're trying to counteract this whole how slow they start their seasons because the last couple of years has been pretty slow out the gate. Once they get rolling, they can put up some points and win some games, but the slow start is what's been holding them out of the playoffs for the most part. So we will see it all come out week 1. So that's really the main takeaways, key notes from practice today. No major injuries to anybody on either side that I saw, other than obviously this oblique injury for Shedeur Sanders. The last thing I kind of wanted to just mention, because it happened a couple days ago. Apparently it happened on Saturday, early Saturday morning at 2:01 a.m., according to social media here. Freaking Myles Garrett pulled over, speeding once again in Strongsville. He was clocked going 100 miles per hour in a 60 mile per hour zone. Miles. And, Blake, I don't have my phone. Blake texted me the other day and we were talking about this, and it's like everybody, of course, everybody's got to fight, right, on social media about this stuff. And some people are saying, who cares about these speeding tickets? Not a big deal. Other people are saying, yeah, it is a big deal. So Blake said the other day, Miles pulled over for going 100. This effing guy will never learn. And then, I agreed. I said, so stupid. I said, he almost kills himself and still doesn't matter. And Blake says, I wrecked my truck twice and now I'm overly cautious with incoming traffic. This dude flipped his car a zillion times and just said, F it, YOLO. I'm telling you, this is a little concerning for Myles Garrett. I believe I saw this was his 8th speeding citation since he's been in Cleveland. He did have the very dangerous car wreck the last time, or what was it, 2 times? I don't remember now. It's been so many. But he flipped his car. I think he was with his girlfriend, if I remember correctly. Could have died. I mean, could have killed himself. And going fast like that, I mean, you could kill somebody else. It's very reckless. It's very careless. It's just stupid. And, Kevin Stefanski was asked about it today before practice, said that the team has dealt with it internally. They've spoken with Myles, all that kind of stuff. He said it's very disappointing. You should not be going that fast. It's dangerous, yada, yada, yada. I don't know, man. I mean, after Shedeur Sanders got hit with his 2 speeding tickets earlier this summer, these aren't the only guys to have this happen, but you would just think at some point, it would sink in that, hey, maybe I don't need to go 100 in a 60, especially since I flipped my freaking car the last time I did it. Why can't this team do normal things? I talked about it at the top of the show. Why can't the best player on my team just be a good leader and just not be a dumbass? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Big deal, not big deal. Who cares? You care. We'll talk about it. And I'll get Justin and Kenny to comment on the speeding thing tomorrow night, plus a ton of other stuff. We'll talk about this Shedeur Sanders injury. We'll give you guys updates from joint practice tomorrow as everything wraps up. The Browns will take Friday to prepare for Saturday's game. And then we are preseason game 2 already. Man, the summer is flying by. It's about school time for the kiddos. Football season is right upon us. We are so close, and I would imagine after this preseason game next week sometime, we should be getting the update from Kevin Stefanski on who the starting quarterback will be week 1 for the Cleveland Browns. My bet is on Joe Flacco. It's the only one that makes any kind of freaking sense right now. But we'll see. This team does not always do sense-making things. Thank you guys for tuning in again. Play fantasy football with us, man. Like, even if the Brown season starts to go off the rails and we suck again, like last year, the 3-14 season was no fun, but man, fantasy football was fun. Fantasy football is always fun. So join our fantasy football leagues at jointhedogs.com. Become an official Dog Pack member on the Patreon page. It's just $5 a month to play with us. And you get in there, you get access to the private Discord, 24/7 Browns, diehard Browns fans in there, just talking Browns, talking all kinds of things all the time. It's just a really great place to be. If you're sick and tired of the negativity and the mean stuff that comes out on social media, get into the Dog Pack. It's a safe place to just talk about Browns football with like-minded people. It's an awesome place, and play fantasy football with us. Jointhedogs.com. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll be with you guys tomorrow night to break down everything from the joint practices and give you guys our preview for the Browns versus Eagles this Saturday.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Dogs Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Twitter at the Dogs Podcast. Get your thoughts on the show at thedogspodcast.com.
This episode is sponsored by Butcher Box for Pets. Browns fans, we love our fellow dogs, our Dog Pack members, and the Dog Pound faithful, but let's not kid ourselves. The most important dogs in our lives are, well, our dogs. Your furry friends aren't just pets, they're part of the family. But the question is, what are you actually feeding them? Head to butcherbox4pets.com/products to see all the options for your dogs, including fresh and dry foods, treats, meal toppers, and even toys for your dog. If you're not sure what your dog will like best, try the Premium Nutrition Adult Starter Pack. And they even have a vacation bundle to take care of your four-legged friends while you're on vacation this summer. And right now you can get 20% off your order with promo code DAWGS, DAWGS, when you check out. At ButcherBox, they believe in real ingredients. Their pet foods have been developed and certified by vet nutritionists to contain zero artificial flavors or preservatives. You get protein-packed formula with over 50% of the recipe comprised of third-party certified humane ButcherBox meat, plus functional ingredients like pre- and postbiotics to support your dog's vitality and digestion. I know that sounds like a lot, but the bottom line is your dogs are getting the nutrition and the value they need and honestly that they deserve. I know our home wouldn't be the same without Odie, our 100-pound golden retriever who thinks he's a 10-pound lap dog. He is not, but it gives us peace of mind knowing that we're giving him quality food instead of just that factory processed garbage from the store. And speaking of the store, no need to go. ButcherBox for Pets delivers their high-quality food right to your door. So head to butcherboxforpets.com/products and use promo code DAWGS, DAWGS, for 20% off your order. It's time for us dogs to give our dogs the nutrition they deserve.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/day to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/day for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.